Station 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, 5 minutes after 9 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Thursday morning. It is time for Veterans News. Hank Whittier is not here today. Robert Woods is sitting in the captain's chair.
Good morning,
Hey,
sir.
Robert, how you doing?
Great, doing great. I'm glad to hear everybody else outside is doing real well, and all of our listeners here in Marion County and Ocala area. And we've got hopefully a very interesting show for y'all today. We got Rick, our famous attorney, on board, and he's going to be introducing another young lady with us.
Good morning, Robert.
Good morning, sir. And first we're going to do is go ahead with our casualties, and unfortunately we do have a couple. And Brian, are you on board?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Hey, Brian. I hate to do it, but I know you got at least a couple of casualties today, so if you don't mind, go ahead and start.
Okay, we have actually 7 for this month. The first one is Michael Garrett. He's a volunteer firefighter for the Nutter Fort Fire Department in West Virginia. He was 28 and he had 15 years of service. He died during a cell phone tower rescue. The second is Thomas Lee. He was a volunteer firefighter. He's 67 years old, and he had 36 years of experience. He died on February the 1st of this year, and he was with the Four Oaks Fire Department in North Carolina. He died of an apparent heart attack. The third is Dwight Hilton. He's a volunteer firefighter, age 57, with 8 years of service. He died on February the 1st, 2014 as well. He was with the East Central Volunteer Fire Department, and a possible heart attack during an outdoor fire. The fourth is James C. Wilbur. He was assistant fire chief for the Franklin Fire Department. He's age 58. He's a volunteer firefighter for that Franklin Fire Department, and he died of a cardiac event en route to a motor vehicle accident. James Joseph Snesick, Sr. He is the fire chief for the Munster Fire Department. He was age 59. He had 35 years of service, and he died on February the 8th, 2014, of an apparent heart attack. William Tanksley, fire rescue officer for the Dallas Fire Rescue Department. He was age 40. He had 14 years of service, and he died on February the 10th, 2014. He actually was hit by a passing motorist during a vehicle accident rescue. Bruce Stainer, he was a lieutenant with the Scioto Township Fire Department in Ohio. He was 49 years old. He's a volunteer fireman for them. He had 30 years of service, and he died of an apparent heart attack within 24 hours of an outside fire. James, I apologize. That's actually all that we had. We actually had 6. I'm sorry.
No, that's good. No, it's not good that you had 6, but it's good that you were able to note that. And did I assume, Brian, also your boss is going to be sending out letters to them acknowledging their passing? And
yes, sir. That we do that.
Yeah, and that's fabulous that y'all do it. I noticed that out of 6 people, 5 of them have passed with heart attacks. I know that y'all do a lot of training, extensive training, and keeping your cardiovascular up, but I just hope that they can help solve some problems, and there won't be as many deaths from heart attacks coming up.
Yes, sir. A lot of the older firemen that we have in the service, they were around when the air pack systems weren't as good, and some of them didn't even have air packs. So,
are you trying to say that old smoke eaters are bad news?
yeah, they were bad. Those guys were tough back then.
Yeah, well, they were. I did some smoke eating at one time, and I understand. Brian, I thank you for calling in, and hopefully when you call in the next time, we won't have as many to read, or maybe just call in and say hello because you don't have any to read.
Yeah, that would be great. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. We're at 14 for this year, so
Yeah, well, that's more than enough.
yes, sir. All right. Well, thank you for having me.
Oh, you're quite welcome, and thank you for calling in, sir.
All right. Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
Okay, we don't have anyone from the sheriff's office. However, I'm going to note of a Orlando, Orange County deputy sheriff that has just recently been killed in the line of duty during a burglary apprehension. And unfortunately, he lost his life. The person killed him. And we do not have any military casualties noted this time. So I'm going to turn it over. Does anybody here on the board happen to have anybody you want to make a point?
Well, I do.
Go ahead, sir.
I want to extend my best wishes to Phelan Satterfield, who's been on our committee and working groups that supported veterans, helping veterans. 10 years in the Navy, air traffic controller on aircraft carriers.
Ooh.
And he's doing a little better. Do we have any other news about him?
No, he's stable at this point.
What
Fortunately, he got off to the hospital, and they seem to stabilize him.
Yeah, we
I
thank you
hope
for
that
helping
it
out.
wasn't anything real serious. Apparently it was, though. Was it a
yes.
heart?
Pretty serious.
Yeah, it's pretty serious.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure what
well-
the medical name is.
Well, having seen him at work and got to know him very well, and because he's a brother Mason, I hope him a speedy recovery.
Yeah, me too. And we have, Lance Corporal Burgess, we had a little time for him Saturday night.
Yes, we did.
What a wonderful event, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
And,
It
I
was
wish we
fabulous.
could do that for everybody.
That would be great.
Because I was down the other day, I was down the subway, and I very rarely stop in any of these fast food places, but I was on my way home, and I was going to get a veggie sandwich, and I stopped in the subway, and I talked to this young man. He had these tattoos, and I recognized a couple of the tattoos on his arm. So I said, were you in the military intelligence? And he absolutely snapped to attention and said, yes. And I said, what are you doing working in the subway? And he goes, he can't find a job. This kid, they spent a lot of money for education and training, and he's got this expertise. He was a photo interpreter, so he has a trade. And I said, wow, we need to talk with you. So
We do.
He's
but,
going to get with us.
I need to go ahead
I got
and...
one more.
Go ahead, sir.
One more.
One more.
Hank
All right.
Whittier, wherever you are, Harrison wishes you the best in a speedy recovery.
Well, he's home right now, convalescing from a little bit, so he needed to take some time frame. But Larry, if you would, please.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. The hour I first believed, through many dangers, toils, and snares, we have already gone. 'Twas grace that brought us safe thus far, and grace will lead us
Okay, we're back, and I need a little bit of housekeeping, but before I do, hey, all of you military retirees, note, Congress restores benefits. So Congress has voted in 95-3 to restore the benefits one day after the bill cleared the House. It is now headed to President Obama for his signature. In December, the budget deal crafted by Senator Patsy Murray, Democrat of Washington, and Representative Paul Ryan, Republican of Wisconsin, cut the cost of living adjustment for the military pensions to 1% below the rate of inflation for veterans younger than age 62 starting in 2015. So your restored benefits are there. And I have to do a little bit of housekeeping before I start anything. But Donnie, how about a car dealership here in town that's sponsoring us called Palm Chevrolet and Palm Kia?
Palm Chevrolet. Wow. You know, I just sold my Malibu,
Oh, yeah?
and I'm sad. I should have kept it. It was a brand new Malibu, Chevy Malibu, and had everything. And I was sitting with a friend of mine at a golf course, country club, and he was telling me how he paid almost $200,000 for his vehicle. It was being made.
What was it, a Lamborghini?
No, it's one of those. It was not a Rolls Royce, but it's a Bentley.
Oh, well, same
The Bentley.
difference.
He was telling me how wonderful the vehicle is.
Well-
So I told him I just bought a new Malibu, and I said, "You want to know something? How wonderful! I have leather seats with suede. I have a radio with XM on it. I press a button, and my windows went down, and my windows went back up after I pressed it again." And he looked at me. He goes, "Are you crazy?" And I said, "I'll tell you what. So what's the difference? I have a beautiful Chevrolet."
Exactly.
And I was happy with it. I should have kept it, and I traded it in
Oh,
for
well.
a motorcycle.
I was fixing to say it had to be a hog.
That's what my wife called me afterwards.
No comment. But anyway, folks, you know,
And I'll tell you what, they came out with a new car. I'm going over to Palm. I think people should go over there and take a look at it. They have the brand new Corvettes out.
uh-oh, I see a new car in your life.
Yes, I'm looking at these new cars because it's the drawback to the 1960s, the way they had the fastback.
Yes.
And I'm going over there to take it, and it's very reasonable.
Well, I'm
The
quite
price.
sure the people over there at Palm Kia and Palm Chevrolet will be more than happy to have you on board.
Oh, I'll be over there.
Yeah, and
They're going to get to know me by first name.
Oh, Lord. But if you looking for a new or used vehicle or pre-owned vehicle, please go over to Palm Kia or Palm Chevrolet and look at the vehicles and talk to the sales reps. They will treat you with a lot of respect and do everything they can to earn your business. Also, they've got a fantastic service and parts department. And if you have a ding on your vehicle, they'll be glad to fix it as well. So go over to Palm Kia and Palm Chevrolet here on State Road 200, just east of the Paddock Mall. and they'll be more than happy to help you.
And if I see anybody over there that recognizes me, I'll buy them a cup of coffee.
If anybody recognizes you,
Yeah.
because of being short in stature, being gray-haired.
Short, fat, ugly. Yeah, go ahead.
You're the one that did
It's almost
that,
as
though.
bad as the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Okay, all right. And we're doing fine so far today, and we're picking on you something fiercely today, Donnie.
That's fine. That's
I'm going to start also with going to Curly. Curly, do you have anything you'd like to report to us?
Oh, yeah. Good morning, everybody from Ocala, Marion County. I would just like to remind everybody that today is Thursday, of course, and since it is the second Thursday, we have our Ladies Auxiliary
That was good.
of the VFW 7193 Ladies Auxiliary. They meet this afternoon at 4:30 p.m. at the Mount Moriah Missionary Baptist Church Annex, and the Ladies Auxiliary President is asking that they be there at 4:30 sharp so they can get started and get out of there, because at 6 p.m. is when the men will be there. Brady Owens 7193's men will meet at the same location, which is at the Mount Moriah Missionary Baptist Church's Annex, and we will start there at 6 p.m. sharp also. Also, I'd like to remind everybody that the 20th of February is fastly approaching, and that's the day we'll be taking off to the Holy Land. And last week I didn't get a chance to announce it, but at that time we had 9 seats left, and now it's down to 5 seats left.
11.
And the admission price is, for adults, is $50. For children under 13 is $40. And for that price, you will get a round-trip ticket and entrance to the Holy Land, and of course a continental breakfast. We said the deadline tickets for the purchase of the tickets was February the 18th, because we have an open line and also an open credit to purchase tickets up until that date. The 18th of February, which is next Tuesday, is the final date for purchase of tickets. And like I said before, we only got 7 seats left on the bus. So make sure you get there and then get that ticket in. For ticket information, you can call me at 352-629-4285. You can call me at 352-817-1654. You can call Comrade Ernestine Porter. Her number is 352-629-1668. That is a tour of the Holy Land down in Orlando, Florida. Everybody says that I've been there before and couldn't see it all, so this is one of the reasons we're going back again. And everybody enjoyed that trip down at the Holy Land. So make sure we'll be leaving at from the Mount Moriah Missionary Baptist Church that morning at 8 o'clock on February the 20th, 8 o'clock. So be there. The bus will be leaving at 8 a.m. sharp.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it, sir. Now, Don Williams, don't we have something good starting shortly at around March the 29th?
Oh,
You heard about it?
March 29th?
Yeah.
What could that be?
March the 29th, we have a wrestling tournament going to be handled at Dory Funk's Wrestling Arena out here near Westport High School.
Well, that's outstanding, because that's first I've heard of it. I've been a little bit busy.
I know, but I thought I would spring that on you so I could get it across to everybody that we're going to be involved in a wrestling match. And Hank has agreed to wrestle, I believe, is called Kathy Bryant, that is going to go in for the county commission.
This should be interesting. Was he going by last year, or what was it, when he took on the bulls at the rodeo?
Yes.
And now he's going to play sumo wrestler?
He's going to play sumo, yes. and Kathy told him that he's a sumo wrestler, too.
Oh, my goodness.
And Dory Funk has threatened him also.
Well, there's some other activities that are going on real soon. Something we didn't know about, maybe.
Go ahead.
And that's the National Guard for the state of Florida, as far as I know, has started a program to help out our families who have a loved one who has passed away and they're military, and maybe if they can help them, they go by the I guess, the call sign of SOS, save our souls. Of course, us military used to think of that as something else, but
I'm quite aware of that one.
and but they can get a hold of at Camp Blanding, the National Guard. I presume it's their headquarters. Now, I ran into that this past week when one of my Ken folks passed on. He was 82 and a veteran of the Korean War. And so he wanted to be buried in his uniform, dress blue uniform. And we looked around, but they stepped in and really helped us out. And you can contact them through either Camp Blanding or National Guard headquarters, and they will refer to you, one of their representatives in your county or city or whatever.
Okay, and we do have a National Guard representative area here in Ocala, and they'll be glad to give you that information as well. And I thank you for bringing that out. Appreciate it. Now, Donnie, you have something.
I got a couple of questions.
Uh-oh. Look out.
There's a big day coming up Friday.
Uh-oh. Whose is it?
And I'm looking at all the guys here. Gurley, I'll start with you.
Okay.
What are we doing Friday? Valentine's Day.
I don't know, but I'll be in class.
We got a Valentine's Day that we're going to be recognizing an orchestra, aren't we?
Yes, we are. The Ocala Symphony Orchestra is putting on one of the best and exciting performances. It's called Camina Borana. It sounds like some Spanish wrestling match or something, but well, I'll tell you something right now. It's going to be fantastic. It's on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I can't believe how the OSO, that's the Ocala Symphony Orchestra, is reaching out to help the veterans. We're working a deal with them right now with the VA. Hank and I in the VA in the orchestra are working out a deal to try to come up with a plan to support the folks that have some PTSD issues. And we're working together, and they're donating time, effort, and space to support the veterans to come to learn and listen and see the arts. So it's a big deal. It's really a big deal that we're trying to put together, and we have our community leaders willing to match the funds that we get from this. So this is a big deal. It's this Friday, and I will be there Friday. We have a veterans section Friday. We have about 35 veterans showing up, and I got to reach out and thank Summer Glen folks. There's a gentleman named J.D. Cochran who's been working with us. They've been outstanding throughout the year. Yes. They've done everything.
Summer Glen has stepped up every time, and it's fantastic.
They are more than a partner. They're a full partner with us in the community, helping us out. They've just came through again with a nice donation to support this PTSD initiative. As we get money and we can show the federal government that we're serious about doing something, you can get grants and they'll match the money that you come up with. So we're trying to put it all together, and the Ocala Symphony Orchestra is a big deal in that too.
Fantastic. I know that I'm going to be there on the 14th with my wife.
Where?
It's going to be at the Westport High School.
Westport High School, and what time does it start?
It starts at 7:30.
7:30 p.m. Westport High School.
You better get there closer to 7 because you need a good seat.
Okay.
And the tickets are relatively
All right, now, where's it going to be on Saturday? Same place?
Same place.
Same time?
Yes.
And Sunday, the same place, the same time?
No, Sunday is a matinee.
It's
you
in
can
the
look it up. I don't have all
I think
the
it's 2 o'clock, if I recall correctly.
Yes,
I'm not sure.
Okay, Sunday we're
But
going to
anyway, we do have
2 p.m.
that going on this weekend, folks. And if you can and you want to listen to extremely good music by our orchestra here in Ocala, please go out and attend.
And
tickets are available.
Tickets are available. Do you have any idea how much they are?
$20.
$20 per ticket.
And you can get them at the door.
At the door.
Okay?
Okay.
All right, Larry, I'm going to turn it over to you, sir, because we need to make money to pay for you to be here.
All right, we'll take a break and be right back.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, guys, listen up. It's that time of year again. Little chocolate hearts, roses, earrings,
Valentine's Day's coming up. Last year you got me slippers that didn't fit. The year before, it was that steering wheel cover for my car. And don't even get me started on the vacuum cleaner incident. Now don't get me wrong, flowers and jewelry would be nice, but this year I'd like something I can thank you for every single day. That new bathroom I've been dreaming about. You know, the one with the rain heads, body sprayers, touchless faucets, bidet, and even the seat warmer. So here's what you do. Step 1, return the crockpot and apron that you thought were good ideas. Step 2, pick up the phone and call Mike Scott Plumbing now.
You heard the lady, guys. Call today to schedule an appointment to visit one of our beautiful showrooms. The main showroom in Hernando or the new showroom in Wildwood right across from Brownwood Square. Call today, 237-2888. That's 237-2888. And remember, if water runs through it, we do it. Mike Scott Plumbing.
And that leaf blower in the closet better be for your mother.
Got a trade? You're in luck. Current high market demand means you'll get more for your trade than ever before at Palm Chevrolet in Ocala. And log on to PalmChevroletSpecials.com to receive an additional $1,000 trade assistance offer. That's PalmChevroletSpecials.com for your bonus trade offer. According to the Wall Street Journal, a 1-year-old Civic that NADA's used car guide valued at $14,275 a few months ago is now estimated to be worth $15,950. As mentioned earlier, your trade is worth more than ever. That's why Palm Chevrolet wants your trade and is willing to pay absolute top dollar. Remember, visit PalmChevroletSpecials.com to receive an additional $1,000 trade assistance offer. Hurry, this is a very limited time offer at Palm Chevrolet on Southwest College Road in Ocala. And go to PalmChevroletSpecials.com to get an exclusive $1,000 bonus trade assistance offer. Chevy, find new roads. Trade value may be less based on excessive mileage and vehicle wear and tear. See dealer for details.
Valentine's Day is just around the corner. And lucky for you, so is J&J Jewelers, located in the Jasmine Plaza just off 200. J&J Jewelers has been crafting quality jewelry for 3 generations and specializes in custom jewelry and repairs. Let Jeff and Jody help you find or create that perfect piece of jewelry for that special person in your life. Did you know they can even do repairs on jewelry while you wait? Now that's customer service. In fact, the Marion Citizen has named J&J Jewelers the #1 jewelry store in Central Florida 6 years running because of their high-quality standards, years of experience, and no-pressure sales with excellent customer service. Don't settle for ordinary when you can have extraordinary. Stop by and see why today. J&J Jewelers, 6160 Southwest 200, Suite 104 in the Jasmine Plaza. For more info, give them a call, 401-0001. That's 401-0001. J&J Jewelers.
Hi, I'm Yvette, and I'm here to tell you a few things about ABC Fredericks Appliance. They sell not only new, but used guaranteed appliances. When you call ABC Fredericks Appliance, they will provide service on what they sell and any appliances that you own. ABC Fredericks Appliance is located in Bellevue, right over the railroad tracks. Call 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. ABC Fredericks Appliance.
Save the date. On March 1st, Habitat for Humanity of Marion County will be hosting the first annual Strawberry and Crafts Festival, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. in historic downtown Ocala. Come and enjoy the handmade crafts, great food, free entertainment, and of course, all things strawberry. There's even a kids zone, so make plans to attend the first annual Strawberry and Crafts Show, March 1st, downtown Ocala. It's great fun and a great cause. Habitat for Humanity. Building homes, building hope, building community.
All right, 27 minutes before 10 o'clock. Let's return to Veterans News. Your host today is Robert Woods.
Okay, good to have
Wood without the S, right?
Yes,
Robert Wood. Right.
One tree, the hardest one out there. Hank will verify that real quick. But we're back, and again, we extend some thoughts to Hank. We miss you up here at the radio station.
I don't know about that much.
Yeah, speak for yourself, there, Robert.
Okay, I'll hush and leave it alone then. But Hank, I miss you whether they do or not.
Well, get well, Hank.
Pretending.
There you go. He'll be fine, no problem. But I was talking to him early this morning, and he was quite chipper about everything, so no problem. But just to remind people, we are Veterans Helping Veterans organization, and it's incorporated. We're a 501c corporation. Our office is at 1527 Northeast 8th Avenue, and our phone number is 433-2320. If there's anything we can do to help you, let us know. We'll do what we can. And Donnie, I'm going to pick back at you about Palm Kia and Palm Chevrolet. Right here close to the Paddock Mall.
Not only do I want to see you in a Kia, I think you ought to get the Corvette.
I can't afford the Corvette. That's out of my league.
Well, I'm sure Palm will work with you and help you get a nice
I'm looking
discount.
at the Equinox. I'm looking hard at the Equinox right now.
But I'm dead serious about Palm. I'm going over there. I'm going to check out the new Corvettes. I think they're fantastic looking, so I want to take it for a test drive, and I'm sure they'll let me.
No, you want it in your garage, let's face it, real quick.
Well, I have to figure out a way to convince my wife that it's all right to keep the motorcycle and the Corvette.
Uh-oh, you got major problems then.
And she'll say you have to get rid of your golf cart.
I was just about to bring up the golf club.
I can't do that either.
Anyway, Palm Kia, Palm Chevrolet, right here in Ocala, just east of the Paddock Mall. They're right there to help you. And if you're looking for a new, used, or pre-owned vehicle, stop in, talk to them. They'll be more than happy to work with you. And while you're there, talk about the service department. They'll be more than happy to show it to you and let you know that they do it real good. And the parts department's available too. Thank you very much, folks. Listen up. Great. And then we got Mr. Rick Hurley. Rick, being an attorney, working in the Lecanto area and coming over here to talk to our veterans, you brought someone else along with you. Her name is Cynthia Holden. And I'll let you take it over from there, Rick, if you don't mind.
Thank you, Robert. Yes, I brought Cynthia here from Crystal River to talk about a group that we have over there to support bringing Bo home from Afghanistan. He's been there about 5 years now. He's the only POW that we have currently overseas. So without any more, I'll turn it over to Cynthia.
Hi, everybody. I'm from Citrus County, and I started a nonprofit Victim Rights Association 20 years ago. I am also a Rolling Thunder member, which is a POW MIA awareness group, and I'm an Air Force veteran, proud Air Force veteran of the Vietnam era. When the petition came across our desk back in October, we got it from Illinois, asking for Secretary of State Kerry in Washington to bring Bo home. I formed a group, and we've been collecting signatures since then. We have over 3,000 signatures collected so far. And February 24th, which is a Monday, Representative Congressman Rich Nugent will be in town to accept these petitions with the media present, and he's also promised to take them back to Washington, again with the media present, to give them to Secretary of State Kerry. If anybody wants to be involved with this project, I'd like them to give me a call at 352-628-6481. And if you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear from you.
Cynthia, it's also true that you've passed these petitions out in various businesses around Crystal River and Citrus County, right?
They're all over Citrus County. The businesses have been very helpful. We've got the petition where you can get 10 signatures on a petition, so it makes it very easy for them. We have places like Philly Cheesesteak that has a very productive business. They get petitions signed every day for me. Where to Go Consignment, which is where we'll have the event for Congressman Nugent, Consignment Car USA, Suncoast Diner. The list goes on and on now.
That's excellent. I should add that there's going to be a dinner sometime end of March, early April for the organization to help fund the organization to keep the costs down and to help Cynthia and her committee.
Sure.
Cynthia, I got a question for you. First, I want to thank you very much for your service.
Oh, my privilege.
During the Vietnam era, a lot of Air Force folks were either on the hospital aircraft. Were you a nurse?
No, sir. I was in computers when the computer was the size of this room.
Oh, yeah. I truly remember that. I was just wondering because I did fly home on Air Force transports in the back in a stretcher. Remember flying from Japan to Alaska, then from Alaska to Dover, then from Dover up to Boston, Hanscom Air Force Base.
Mm-hmm.
Then the ambulance would pick us up and drive us to Chelsea Naval Hospital. And it was the Air Force folks that took care of us and handled us, and they were very professional. And I like to thank them as well, because we razz each other around here about the different services.
Mm-hmm.
But when you talk about the Air Force, that's what I remember the most, them taking care of us and supporting us, besides the combat missions that they supported us with. Thank you.
Yeah, and Rick, I want Cynthia to give that phone number again, if you don't mind, for how she can be reached.
352-628-6481.
Okay, fantastic. But Rick, go back.
Yeah.
Let's sign that thing.
I want to bring up one important issue. I always have a number of issues, and I try to get on the radio, but I'll go over my standard later. But one of the things that has been coming up of late is regarding hiring an attorney to file your claim.
Yeah.
And there seems to be a misunderstanding amongst VSOs and veterans that they're being told either by the VA or even by other attorneys that an attorney is not permitted to represent a veteran in the filing of the initial claim.
They're also being told by other veterans.
Right. And so I want to put that to rest, because that is just not true.
Good.
And in the regulations themselves, it specifically states that. In fact, an attorney, and we had two this past month where we represented the veteran pro bono, and we were able to win the case for the veteran for his benefit. There's no attorney fee attached to it. We filed the claim, we went to the hearing, and we won. And the veteran's going to receive full compensation. No attorney's fees are coming out of the retro. So I just want to let people know that attorneys can represent veterans at the pro bono stage if the attorney wants to. Obviously, if the attorney decides not to, he can do that as well. But again, the fee is the triggering part. Whether the attorney is going to handle it or not, maybe, I don't know. But at our firm, Corey and Hurley, we represent the veteran at any stage. It really comes down to analyzing the veteran's case, not whether or not there's a fee attached to it. The provisions in the regs also permit for a consulting fee. So a veteran could actually go to an attorney and the attorney can get a consulting fee, which again, I don't think the veteran is being told given the right information about that. And, the VSOs, and you have to watch what information is being transmitted, because it's all in the green books, the red books, and if you know the green books and the red books, the answer lies within.
Well, when you got 4 inches of books on 2 books, no, I'm going to say 6 inches of books, really, it's hard to know all of those things. And you as an attorney, you have to know what's in those books. And you study them constantly.
You have to know. Well, every year we get an updated version.
Sure.
So we have to go through that book. And we usually, David Corey, who has an office in Tampa, we go through our book and we mark it up again.
Yeah.
Every year we mark it up and we put tabs on it so we can get to the page we need to get to. In addition to knowing what's in that book, we need to know the current case law.
Right.
I don't think there's been one case that we've gone before the hearing officer where we haven't cited a case. to make sure that the hearing officer goes to that case and looks at the current state of the law. It's no different than in civil or criminal law.
That's right.
The hearing officer and the VSO and the attorney, they all need to know what the current status of the law is.
And they're up on it, whether you are or not.
Correct. Well, sometimes you catch them with their pants down, but
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Well, they think they know it. Let me change that. They think they know it.
so that's one thing I wanted to get across to the veterans and the public out there about this misconception about when an attorney can be involved in your case. The bottom line is the attorney can be involved at the get-go. It's up to the attorney.
Right.
And the other thing, again, I want to just kind of reiterate, and Don, you and I have talked about this before, and you can't say it enough because every time I go out, whether it's a referral from Vets Helping Vets or a call to my office, it's amazing how the issue of deadlines keeps getting misunderstood or keeps getting put to the last month. They have 6 months. They're calling me 5 months before the deadline or 1 month before the deadline. They've had 6 months. Why didn't they call me the first month?
Because they procrastinate.
Right.
And
So,
that's the bottom line.
if there's, and they, as Don pointed out a while ago, that they'll take the letter from the VA and they'll just not even open it and just put it on a stack.
Yeah.
I go to their homes. David and I will go to your home and meet with you at the home. Here's another issue, I guess. One of the things that David and I do routinely is when the veteran calls me, I tell them, where do you want to meet me? I've been criticized sometimes for not letting them come to my office per se. I got that criticism from a VSO actually, but I tell them I go where the veteran wants to meet me. It might be at their house because they're in a wheelchair.
Yes.
It might be in a coffee shop because they want the comfort of that coffee shop. So wherever they want to go, or it might be lunch or dinner, but I meet them on their terms, their ground, because that's where they feel most comfortable.
And they're going to be free to open and talk to you.
And exactly. They're going to be getting into issues where they need to be. Where I've been sitting down with veterans where they've talked about a situation back in Vietnam, and they've never talked about it for 30 years. Their wife is sitting right there, and she'll look dumbfounded and say, he never mentioned that to me before. How did you get that out of him? Because I get him in a comfort level.
There's a lot to say for that, because when I was teaching in Boston, I taught in the inner city, and I had to go meet the parents, and a lot of times I had to meet them in the bar because they wouldn't come to school. And in 8 years in Boston, I had 4 parents for parent-teachers night because they wouldn't come. They would not come. They're either intimidated or they just too angry. So you have to go meet them. You go outside of the realm of your world into their world. And then you understand what they're going through better. And I think I applaud you for that.
Thank you.
Going out there and seeing folks, because you're going to their world. And it's important to see how they are functioning.
And for this lawyer from New York and New Jersey, some of the worlds I've seen when I get down these country roads around Ocala and Citrus County, I'm telling you, they're living out in their world.
Yes.
It's a comfort zone for them.
Yes, it is. And it's a fence that nobody protrudes, comes through,
Right.
unless you're invited.
Robert, let me give you our phone numbers.
Go ahead.
And I can be reached in this area at 727-612-1515. And my law partner, David Corey, can be reached at 1-813-662-0760. And he's in the Tampa-St. Pete area. And we are routinely in the Tampa-St. Pete area going over cases. So if anybody needs to meet us down there or meet me up here, please call, and I'd be happy to come out. Our consultations are free.
Good.
So please, if you have an issue, let us analyze your case, and we'll give you a straight scoop. If you have a case, we'll pursue it for you. If you don't, you'll be told why.
Well,
that's what the VSOs don't do.
You got one case that you're handling right now that we recommended to you, and he's got a lot of hoops to jump through to get it hopefully accomplished.
Correct.
And, folks, you got to, being a veteran, you got to get off your duff to do this. You can't wait for the VA to tell you what to do, because they won't tell you.
There's right in the Green Books, there's this provision for duty to assist. And the VA is under an obligation to assist veterans in all aspects. Curly, I see that you're shaking your head.
That's because I know for a fact that what you're saying is in the book, but that's not the way it works. They just...
Yes, we know, Curly.
It's a code. There's some kind of code of silence that they won't tell you everything, and they're not going to make sure that you understand it. It's up to you to put in for your claim. They'll treat you, they'll fix it, or try to fix it, but they're not going to tell you. Now you need to go put in a claim against the government, and now I'm going to fix it for you. You have to do all that on your own, or you have to seek help from your VA representative or from your service officer to put in your own claim and start that ball rolling. Because if you don't, you won't get a dime.
Correct. And it's taking 2 years, 3 years sometimes for these claims to finally get heard. And that's why, and this is another pet peeve of mine, young veterans, veterans who are coming home, last 5-10 years, don't do what I see so often, which is the veteran who's now 55 to 65, 70. I talked to a veteran yesterday who's 75, filing his initial claim. Well, where was he 40 years ago? And the thing is, when you come home and you're a young veteran, the first thing you should do is go to your VA, register, sign up. They'll give you a primary physician at that point, and now you're in the books. And at that point, go see a representative, go see an attorney. Let them talk to you about your case, your experiences overseas. There are so many issues regarding being exposed to hazardous treatment. We all think about Agent Orange, but there are so many other issues out there that these young vets are being exposed to. Look at Iraq when these soldiers were walking through all those oil fields. Who knows what was in all that stuff?
None at all.
And these kids are coming home coughing and sneezing, and Don, we were talking about it earlier today. It's horrible.
I'll tell you, I can tell from experience about Iraq. We hit a lot of the chemical bunkers. And the chemical is not like the bacteria or the bio stuff. The chem stays on the sand. So what was happening when I was over there in 2003, and I did another tour in 2004, we're over there looking for the chems and stuff, and the chems lies on the sand and stays there dominant until you come flying by in a heavy vehicle or any type of vehicle, and you kick the chemical up. And the military were reporting false alarms from the systems on their vehicles because they knew for a fact nobody shot at them. So there can't be chemicals, but it was chemicals because the chemicals were lying dominant on the sand. The wind blows them, and it doesn't matter if it hit it over here in Anbar, Providence. It might end up in the green zone. But when you're driving through it, it's like powder, and the alarm systems were going off. So these kids were coming home with headaches. And then I know for a fact that our government turned around and said no more hitting the bunkers because they knew for a fact there were chemicals in some of those bunkers, right, in munitions. So they didn't want to spread that anymore because we were actually spreading it ourselves. And it wasn't Saddam Hussein shooting it at us with scuds. So, yeah, they come home. So they come home and they think, because they're pretty strong today, everything's all right. They got a little cough, they got a little headache. And what's the first thing a young Marine or a soldier, they want to get out. They want to get out and experience life. They don't worry about, hey, does the military have all my records? Of course they do. This is the time of information. Of course they'll have all my records. Of course they'll know everything. Then when they get out, they come back, then the military says, we don't have that in your record. We didn't know you were there. We didn't know you went on shore. We didn't know you were exposed to this. And so they put it right back on you to prove to them that you were there.
Mm-hmm. This brings up one final point.
Sure, go ahead.
When I see active military and we're talking about where they're going, I always tell them, and families should tell their sons or daughters who are active military, take pictures, keep a journal, keep a list of your wing people, your supervisors, where you served, what country you were in, be detailed about it, because as Don just pointed out, when you come home, if you're on a TDY, temporary assignment, Robert, I know you're laughing about this. If you're on a TDY, it may never be in your military record.
It's not.
So if you don't have some documentation, a picture, names of people, you're going to have a tough burden to prove. It's all evidence.
Well, that's nice that we find this out now, and we're trying to help all these young veterans doing that, the ones that are in service and all now. But when I was in Vietnam era, we were lucky to know the time of the day most of the time, and we got slapped on the back and say, hey, you're doing a great job. Get out there and do some more. And that's the way it was. You didn't think about what's going to happen 20 years down the road, which I found quite prevalent in many ways. So, the military uses you and abuses you and don't give you any bit of satisfaction at the end of it.
Yeah.
Well, let's jump back. I moved down from Washington, D.C. 3 years ago. I spent 37 years with the government. I've been in more countries. I've probably been chased out of more countries than most people visited. And when I came in, that wasn't my wife chasing me. It may have been my family. So I come down here in Ocala, and I go to the VA, and I wanted to register, let them know that I'm here now, not in Washington, D.C. The lady says to me, looks me right in the eye, and says to me, we have no record of you being in the service. And I said, lady, I think you better, you know how I am, folks. I'm very sweet and kind.
One time.
They don't know you.
I said, lady, I think you best go back into your computer and try it again. And she said, oh, there you are. Now, if I was a young serviceman coming out of the service, I would have walked away and said, oh, they don't have my records. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't leaving. That lady would have died there before I left. I know those records were there.
Somewhere.
And it's really bothersome when you give them all that information. You provide medical records from the government medicals as well as civilian medicals, and you give it to them, and they can't find your records. Yeah. That's terrible. And that's why guys like yourself, the professionals that know how to go back and reach back and find the records and bring it out and put it in chronological order so you can present it in a methodical manner makes a big deal of difference because you're organized. I go back there, I look like chopped liver. I got it. I think I got it, and you pull something out of the bag. Oh yeah, here's an exam I had, and it doesn't work. That's confusion and it's chaos, and they take advantage of that against you. Not purposely, but they'll just say, hey, look, you're not organized. You don't have everything. And by the way, Don, why don't you go back to Vietnam and talk to the guys you served with?
There's none there.
I served in Vietnam on search and destroy with the Marine Corps, and the only people I knew were the people in our squad. I didn't know anybody else. All I remember is being out in the jungle all the time, coming back into the rear, which is a FOB, a forward observation base. I never knew anybody. So you had 3 or 4 people. And we rotated, and we didn't know when a guy got wounded, we didn't know whether he was dead or gone. So how do you go back and contact these people and to witness, to tell them that, hey, were you in this situation or not? Mm-hmm. So those are your challenges when you try to help folks because they can't remember.
Yeah.
Okay, Don, I have Rick, I have a young lady with us who has also been in the Air Force.
Love it.
And she's CJ. She's right here. She's got a question to ask you.
Okay.
My question is, if a vet already has a lawyer to represent them for their disability cases or anything like that to rebuttal, can they at any point switch to a new lawyer should they find that their lawyer that they already have is inadequate?
Yes, the situation with a VA lawyer is no different than the situation in a criminal or a civil case.
Okay.
You are allowed to have whatever representative/attorney you want. The difference is you won't fill out a substitution of attorney like you would do in civil or criminal to notify the court that, in fact, you now have a new attorney.
Okay.
The VA will go by the last representation letter. The 21-22A, that form. Whoever's in there last is considered and assumed to be representing that veteran.
Because in my instance, I've been filing since I've been rebuttaling since 2012, and I call every few months to my lawyer up in New Jersey, and they, we're working on it. I left the military at 21 years old with 4 volumes of medical records, and I'm still not hearing anything.
Well, you certainly can decide to change attorneys if you want to.
He's a good attorney to talk to.
Okay. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Robert.
That's the best way to put it.
And the main thing is, if you're not getting complete service from the one that you have, then all you need to do is say, just send me all of my records, and I will thank you very much, and do I owe you anything or whatever, and then go and go to your attorney that you feel that you can trust and get your case handled. Because it don't make no sense after all this time. I'm still working on it.
Yeah.
Well, what have you worked on? Give me some kind of update.
All right, folks, it's kind of ending the day for us here at the station, WOCA, and we do thank everybody here at WOCA for their continued support to all veterans. And Rick, we thank you, and you're welcome to come back anytime, you know that.
Love to.
And Cynthia, thank you again.
Thanks for having me.
And folks, y'all have a fantastic day, and God bless America.
Ocala's information station, 1370.